So in our excessive movement in the width adjustment video, there was a question about what to do if your gold bar is out of alignment. Watch this video to learn what to do next. Hi, Nate Rawson here with New Tech Machinery, and in today's video, we're gonna learn how to adjust our gold bars if they were to come out of alignment. So how this happens is when the crank handle is forced, when there's material in the machine, can cause the gold bars to come out of alignment, potentially by jumping the tooth on the miter gears that are on the end of each rod. And this can cause oil canning with your panel. It could cause the panel to be deformed or a severe uphill or downhill in your profile. And it's very important that you make sure that these are aligned properly so you have good looking panels when you go to do your job. Before we get started, we want to first install our lockout tagout system, and then we'll remove the safety covers. And for the purpose of this demonstration, we've removed the tooling. So the tools we're going to need for this is a 1/2 inch open end box wrench, 5/32 T-handle, a 9/16 socket with a ratchet, and a tape measure. Now let's jump into the machine and we'll show you how to fix it. So the first thing I want to do is verify that I'm all the way in the B position just by loosening these 4 bolts all the way. Tighten them back up. Now this of course can be done in the A position. Just take a look at the drawing here and it'll show you how that's done. So I like to make sure that the string is set the same height on both ends, and I usually start about 3 3/4, and that it's unobstructed by any wires or screws that may be inside the frame. Yeah, so this one is set at 26 13/16. And we'll measure the other end, almost 27. So we're off by 3/16. So that's gonna need adjusting. So the first thing we wanna do is grab a friend to crank the tooling, because we wanna start with a nice solid number. So in this case, we'll go to 26. So if you could turn that for me, Rick, and you're gonna go counterclockwise, and I'll tell you when to stop. All right, slow down, and stop right there. Go back the other way just a little bit. Perfect, just stop right there. All right, so now I'm working off of 26 as my number. And the reason why I like to go out of the B position is I wanna make sure this long rail, which is L2 mount rail, is all at 26, which is parallel to the string. And then we'll verify that our L1 rail, we'll set that at 26.5. All right, so next step would be to go to number 2. And we always wanna try to measure at or as close to the Acme rod or the alignment tube as we can, making sure that it's unobstructed. We go straight across, and we'll see that this one is just a little bit over, so we'll make the adjustment there. So our rail at this position is away from the string a little bit too much, so we're gonna bring it in just a little bit. So we do that by loosening these bolts, loosen that a little bit. Now that's gonna allow us to turn this tube independently from the rail. And you use your 5/32 Allen wrench in the leverage hole. We're just gonna go maybe a 1/4 turn. Then we'll have to measure across, just to maybe a little bit more. Check it again. Perfect. Then we just want to tighten up the clamp. Then we'll move on to the next one. So next we want to go to the third Acme nut on the rail and check it. And it's off by a little bit, more like a 1/4. Next step, we'll loosen up the collar. Then we'll bring in our T-handle. And we're gonna, so this rail is about a 1/4 inch further away from the string than the rest of the rail. So we're gonna bring that in about a 1/4 of an inch toward the string. I'm gonna go about that far and then measure it again. Man, now I'm right on the money. And then I'll tighten that up. So now that our rail is all set at 26 and it's parallel to the string, we would go to our L1 mount rail and set it at 26.5. So the reason why the L1 rail is further away from the string than the L2 rail is because you're working from the edges of the material to form the panel, and that's how you get your profile. So I'm gonna measure across the end of the L1 rail to the string, and I'm about 3/16 too close to the string, so I have to move that to the left or out away from the string. So to do that, we're gonna loosen up the clamp, and on the L1 rail, the clamp clamps from the bottom bolt. So you got 2 bolts that come in from the top that are for the A and B movement, but there's 2 bolts that come in from the bottom, and that's what clamps onto the alignment tube. So you have to loosen those bolts underneath. And then this one, that's why you need your open end. Because this section is too close to the string, we have to move it away from the string. So we're about 3/16 going under the guide rods. That's perfect, 26.5. So then we just want to double check the other end, make sure we're still good, and we're perfect. Now that concludes how we adjust the rails to align with the string on the left side. Now on the right side, you've got 2 sections. Section 2 is fixed. Normally we don't see an issue here. And in our experience, even though rail number 1 has 2 positions, inboard and outboard, in our experience, we never have an issue with that coming out of alignment. So there really wouldn't be any reason for you to adjust that side of the machine. Check out this link to download a guide on how to safely operate your machine. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.